Rebecca, we just got done watching every step, and everybody's out there watching on YouTube and here in the audience. We wanted to take a time to just interview you, some of the process that it took place to put on this film. I know it's only a short film, but I think people are kind of curious what it took to put this together. So first, let's talk about some of the challenges that you faced. Talk about sound. I know I was there on one of the days where sound was a big problem. But go ahead and talk about sound issues.
It was a windy day, and we were filming outside on a Saturday in a busy neighborhood. And it just so happened to be the time of day where the mail was coming and people getting ready for parties and blowing driveways.
Leaf blowers.
Even in the wind.
That's right.
It was just, everything happened. The neighbors next door were blaring music super loudly and driving cars around, and it was just like one thing on top of another is like kind of amazing. We got the scene done in time.
And then we probably took about 25, 30 takes.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And then in post, just trying to figure out how to do all that sound took forever, right?
Yeah, removing background noise, trying to get the wind to sound normal.
And the ironic part is that after all that, we had to add noise back in.
Yeah.
That's a little inside.
Yeah.
So then what about the characters, the actors? Not that you had a problem with the characters, but there was definitely one huge setback.
Yeah, there was a little hiccup there. We had 3 days of filming done, and we're getting ready for the last two. One of the characters was going to come in. We were going to do all of his scenes on the last 2 days. And
he's coming in from Minneapolis.
Yeah, so it was a pretty good distance. And the night before he was supposed to come in, he said that his plane flight got canceled. So he wasn't going to be able to come. And there was no last minute flights that were affordable. No. So we kind of were like, oh, what do we do now? So we spent a lot of time that night. We stayed up pretty late trying to figure out what we're going to do. I'm doing rush calls on Facebook, on different websites, trying to figure out if anyone can come in last minute. So, and then I think you had this idea.
Yeah, Hannah and I decided, we looked over the script, and I was like, does it have to be a guy? And as we looked at it, I'm like, no, he just meets this person, as you saw in the movie, and, well, why can't we make this a girl? Now, explain Paris. Her name's not really Paris, but we called her Paris.
Persa,
right.
Yeah. She was our makeup artist for the week, and she's actually an actress, too. And so, and she had told me that before, but I didn't have a part. I'm like, I don't have another female role. And then we decided, well, we can actually switch this one, and it actually worked. She's coming here anyways. And so I asked her about it, and of course she was like, yeah, I'd love to be in it. And so it was just really cool how that worked out, too.
It did work out. It was It was tenuous there for a second, though. I mean, you're not one to get very stressed, but even that had to push your limits a little bit.
I was a little nervous.
A little bit nervous, because the whole project basically was all done except for their shots. And to redo it all was impossible. The money was out. And what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's kind of too late at that point.
Right.
We were too far. And
that could have been a movie in and of itself.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so where did the story originate from? I know this is a short film, so it's not one of these feature film where you have a lot of time to develop the characters and all that. But where did this story come from?
So I was listening to this song called It's Always Been You, and I really loved it. It really spoke to me, and about how God is with us every step of the way. And so I kind of had this idea of this runner who loses his ability to walk and loses all his dreams for the future, and kind of struggling to understand that God is still there with him every step. And I liked that, how it was kind of with the runner and with the every step.
That makes sense. So that's
So-
just now you're one that likes to make stories. If you don't know, Rebekah has also written a book. She's a published author, and she actually has another video, which we'll get to in just a second. So you're in the creative part of all of this, and so stories come naturally to you. You like to come up with stories. So why don't we talk about where this project, how it compares to your other projects? I know early on you did the Chindletons thing on YouTube, and then you did a project last year called Faith Over Fear. And you entered that into a film festival and all that. So how does this compare with all the other ones?
Yeah, so doing the YouTube channel and doing Faith Over Fear, those ones we kind of just did with like whatever we had at the moment, the people that we had, the resources that we had, and it was fun to work out with and all that. But especially with Faith Over Fear, it was a little bit of a rush thing that we did because I had a deadline to submit it into the film festival, and so there were some issues we ran into and just couldn't fix them in time. So we were just like, I guess we're gonna go with it. So, but this time we had months of planning, and we were able to get all the actors together. The first time actually for me to cast actors that I didn't know, and get all the crew together, get everything super organized, get a schedule, 1 week of filming. And so it was a lot different from that perspective.
Well, one of the biggest differences also was that with Chindletons and the other film, you're filming with friends. And so it's very loose, and it's just like, we'll do this, we'll do that. Well, this one was a little bit more organized, and you're calling a little bit more professional people here and people who do this. And talk about that aspect of it, where I know some of the people came in that not knowing what to expect, and here you are, well, just turned 21 yesterday, but you were 20 years old directing this film, and they're like, oh no, what are we getting into? Is this going to be cheesy or what? So talk about the challenges of being almost the youngest person there directing this. Did you ever have an issue with that, did you think?
During the time where I was actually talking with the actors and getting all the stuff together, we never had like a Zoom call or anything. So we never even like met at all. And so I was like kind of worried that they were going to think I didn't know what I was doing. So like
well, you kind of didn't.
Well, but I tried to make myself sound like I knew what I was doing and stuff. And so then they show up, and obviously they're kind of surprised, I guess. But I think it worked out. I mean, I had all of my family helping, so it was kind of a younger crew, I guess.
And look, you can't help your age. You are what you are, right? But you did a very good job of directing this. I thought you could be a little bit more aggressive, but that's not in your nature, and maybe you'll grow into that a little bit, but you did a very good job, and I'm glad we did this. And we didn't really do much to help you out. We just, whatever you want us to do, Rebekah, you tell us what to do. And so this was really your puppy, your baby, and you ran with it, and no pun intended with the movie. But this was an interesting project. I hope everyone out there I hope everyone out there enjoyed the short film. Rebekah, are you going to do another project here soon?
Well, I hope so.
You hope so. So what's the plan to do with this movie, by the way?
To do with this specific one?
Yes, you're going to enter this into the Christian Worldview Festival, right?
Yes, and so hopefully it gets accepted,
right.
And
that's the goal.
Hopefully it can be shown there. Other people can see it.
And you're coming up with new ideas and raising money for the next project, maybe? I don't know. But look, we thank you guys for watching. If you're live in the audience, we appreciate you for showing up. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for making it through and getting to this interview process. Rebekah, thank you very much for this interview. And thank you once again for watching.